Welcome to Behind the Badge with your special guest, Lieutenant Williams, your news source for all things police in the city of Fond du Lac.
It's KFIZ today on this Friday, as always, joined by Lieutenant Ryan Williams. It's Behind the Badge, our weekly visit with the Fond du Lac Police Department. I know we've got new CSO who is also in studio. We'll get to him in just a little bit here, but how are we doing?
Yeah, I feel like we're always bringing new faces in here, which is good because we do need to hire some people, and I think like lately I've been bringing in new officers, but you know we also have our community service officers, which I think we've talked about, but people should know that they are different than normal officers. They can't take all the same calls that normal officers do, and they do a lot for us. They actually do a lot of our community events. They do parking downtown. They do fingerprinting for us. So they are an important asset of our department, and a lot of times they are future police officers. So it's great to bring them in and see if it's kind of like the try it before you buy it for both of us. Like they can see if they want to do this for their career, and if so, we might be the right fit for them, and we can see if we want them, you know, by how they work and stuff for that. So
turns into a feeder system sometimes, which is definitely great for both parties.
The minor leagues for law enforcement. So with that being said, we have someone that fits those lines, and that's Jackson Wagner here. So Jackson, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Jackson Wagner. I was pretty much born and raised in Fond du Lac. All my family is here in Fond du Lac, so been here pretty much the whole time. I'm with the Explorers with the police department, and it's honestly the Explorers that really kind of pointed me towards this path. Otherwise, I would have just stayed at my last job. So, but yeah, I've been here about 2-ish weeks now.
He's pretty new.
Still getting trained up, but I'm enjoying every moment of it.
So yeah, he's doing the complete cycle. So he started in like what would be like the high school level of the Explorers. So the Explorers, tell us a little bit about the Explorers and what that is.
Oh yeah, so it's run by Officer Marcus Clapper, Rick Matz, and Alex Malik. Once every month typically. We meet for 2 hours and they show us a whole bunch of stuff. We've done handcuffing, active shooter response, vehicle stops, high risk stops. Just a whole array of things. So it's a great program.
So why did you decide to get into that?
When I was 14, a lot of police stuff started to come across my YouTube, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then from there, my interest just grew and grew and grew. And then my buddy sent me a post from the police department's Facebook page that they were interested in Explorers. Originally, I didn't do too much about it, but later I'm like, you know what, I want to do this. I want to see if this is really what I want to do, and not just because it looks cool. And I'm pretty sure it's what I want to do. I have a lot of fun working with those officers and the other Explorers. I'm having fun working with my fellow CSOs and LT here, and it's just been great. So.
Yeah, it's definitely the way to gather interest in the Explorers. Tell us about some of the other. So they do trainings with them that are kind of like they get to learn about police stuff, so they really get to see if it's something they're interested in. But they also do some other things too. Like, do you guys do like some sort of competitions and stuff? Or
yes, we are looking at trying to do a competition in November. Right now, we're just trying to get our numbers in order, and then. We help out with plenty of events. Walleye Weekend, the most recent one, I believe it was National Night Out that we helped at, doing the radar throw and just kind of showing people around. So, they put us everywhere that we can go. So just trying to get as much experience as possible.
What do you know what you compete in the competitions? Have you done one yet, or?
I have not. This would be my first one.
All right. So I think they pick like some sort of police topic, and they see how well they do. They set up like scenarios and stuff. And they see how well they do, and I think typically Fond du Lac does pretty well. So they get them prepared the right way, I think, for these things. So it's really kind of cool. So he mentioned like Officer Brooke Mathis, who's not a member of our crisis co-response, Marcus Clapper, and Alex Malik. I don't know if Alex was an Explorer with us. He might have been for a different department. But the other two were Explorers, and then they were CSOs, and now they're officers. So, I mean, that's running the full gamut.
That is, wow.
That's going through the whole thing, and who knows? Maybe Jackson will be part of that group someday too. So, it's really cool to have, and the fact that they have it and they compete against like other Explorer programs too. I know like West Bend has a really good like Explorer program, a couple other agencies. So yeah, it's pretty neat.
He mentioned YouTube videos coming across. Is this the first time that you've heard this from a potential recruit or a CSO, or somebody up and coming saying, yeah, I saw some cool stuff on YouTube, and that kind of sparked my interest?
Yeah, no, I mean that has been kind of popular now. I mean with actually our recruiting video did quite well. It's not, I don't go a lot of places where people haven't seen the old Quick Trip one, so that's played well, and that's pretty much how people communicate, like kind of now, is by watching videos of some sort on the internet machine there. So you just gotta be part of it, and I'm all for it because I love video stuff. So it's right up my alley. So
you do. So your CSO now just started. Life aspirations, goals. Where do you want to go?
I think law enforcement is the career for me. If I can work here with Fond du Lac, I think I'd love that. Again, living here my whole life, this town means a little bit more to me than like someplace like Oshkosh or Appleton. So I think I want to work here with this department. Again, I've had a great time with my experiences here. So I think working in Fond du Lac as an officer is kind of where I want to be.
And my goal is when I sit down with our new employees or CSOs and stuff, and I say, I want to get you to where you want to be. And if that's with us, then that's great. If it's not, that's great too. But in the end of it, I just want you to be a better person. So you let me know what kind of training you want, you look forward to, what you need, what's your passion, and I'll do my best to facilitate it. And I'm hoping that in the end, we're going to end up with better employees throughout that and just trying to foster them. As we've talked for so many times, I have a little bit of knowledge about everything, right?
Yeah.
So I have a plethora of knowledge, and I tell them use that, and I will set things up so that you can learn more about what you're interested in, and that's what's cool about law enforcement. You can be involved in a lot of different things because it reaches all aspects of life. So,
Jackson, what are you interested in, and what are you looking forward to in your time as a CSO?
In my time as a CSO, it's just trying to get my feet wet, really solidifying that this is what I want to do, and just moving as far as I can. Really, trying to be as good as I can, be a good CSO, be a good community member, just doing what I can to make the community better.
Just gonna learn the basics first, and then take it from there.
That is the best way to do it. No doubt about it. How many CSOs do you guys have right now, and typically your average?
Currently, we are at it's kind of 5. We have one that just started the academy that he will only be able to work like weekends now. So we are actually great that we talk about this. We're having a CSO hiring process on August 26th. So if you know someone that's interested in becoming a CSO, tell them to get their applications in. They can, there's something on our website on fdlpolice.com on where they can send it. I'm just going to check, make sure I have that date correct. Yeah, it's August 26th. That's so sad, that's not the date. It's August 24th. August 24th, forget that. It is August 24th. We are reaching out already to some of the applications we have already, and we actually have a normal police hiring process August 30th. So a lot of things happening. It's going to keep me really busy. Maybe we'll be having more people come in here. But August 24th is the CSO process. All you have to do is go to fdlpolice.com, fill out an application. There's a link to it right there. And as soon as I get that application, I'll reach out to you and try to schedule a time. I'm looking at trying to do the interviews from 12 to 3 for the 24th for a community service officer. The interviews for law enforcement officer will be at night between 4 and 9. And we have a brand new process, which I'm really excited. We have a lot quicker hiring process now that we're going to be unfolding August 30th. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be our first time running it, so it'll be good. And the game right now is competitive, and you got to run a little bit quicker. And we were doing some steps which weren't really changing who we were hiring. And it doesn't really pay to do something just to do it. You have to find out how effective it is, and if it's not effective, then get rid of it. So we're kind of changing our tune and getting things a little bit more to the modern age of what we're dealing with for hiring.
Great news, and I know you want to touch on canines.
Yeah, we got Jackson talked our ear off in here, right? So we do have a little bit of time, just because we had a missing person. Well, we still do. This airs on Friday. Who knows? Hopefully, maybe it'll be resolved. But a lot of people might be confused as to like, so they actually called in some dogs like that that came in for this missing persons, and people might be like myself when I first heard that, like, well, why are we calling in dogs? We have 4 canines for the city of Fond du Lac, and then the county has 2 dogs. Well, the reason is they're different kinds of dogs, and to know the difference is most police dogs are trained in a certain kind of tracking where they will track the freshest odor. So if you walk through grass and the dogs can tell what the freshest track is on that grass, and that's how they follow a person. If you cross concrete, that smell is still there, but it's a little bit harder, and the wind tends to push that direction, that smell. So when most police canines, it is difficult, not impossible by any means, it's still easily doable, but we'll find people from that. There's another way you can train your dogs, and it's called many things, but I've always heard it called as scent discrimination, and that's what people you probably are typical seen in the movies. That's that whole, this is, you run from your car, this is your shirt that you wore, it's got your odor on it, the dog will find it following that odor. Now usually they'll do it the same way by trailing them, but they will track that way. So we had, for this missing person, we had some dogs that were trained in that. We also had some dogs that were trained in cadavers, locate cadavers. Always want to expect the best out of the situation, but you got to prepare for the worst. So cadaver dogs are actually trained to alert on like bone, like there's a certain odor that's released when someone dies. And obviously you and I can't smell, our noses aren't sensitive enough, but dogs can, and they can be trained to alert on that smell. I actually was good friends with a lady from Madison that had a cadaver dog, and she had jars of body parts that she basically trains on. Yeah, like it's weird, but that's what you have to do.
Makes sense, yeah.
And so that might be why you see a presence of other dogs, because they're trained in other disciplines. Now, it wouldn't make sense for like a police agency to train a cadaver dog because there wouldn't be enough use for it. Most of our dogs are trained in tracking and in drug work, smelling drugs and smelling people, basically. But there are out there, and then the scent discrimination, there are agencies that train. I don't believe any of our dogs are. And I'm pretty sure the counties are not, but it is something that they can train, and it's very hard to train. Like it's a very hard discipline to train, but it's really good when you can do it. And it's literally like I could have a dog smell an article, and that person could go to a bar that's occupied with 50 people, and they'd be able to pick out the person that it came from, which is amazing.
That's incredible.
So, and dogs' noses are like where we would smell the thing they always use is like spaghetti sauce. So like if someone's cooking spaghetti sauce, you and I might say, oh, that smells like spaghetti sauce. Well, the dog would be able to smell like the onions, the tomatoes. They'd be able to smell every single thing that's in that spaghetti sauce to make it. And I usually buy it from the can, so I can't go on if ingredients in there. But so that's why they use these dogs as tools, and we have access to an organization where they have other dogs at their disposal, like cadaver dogs and those scent discrimination dogs, which is nice when you have cases like that. So.
Absolutely, great information. And before you go, a shout out to a loyal listener.
Yeah.
The badge.
So if you ever see me in public, let me know if you watch the show, because I like to know who we're getting out to, and I've actually heard some good positive feedback, because we never know how many listeners. That's the hard thing about your job, is you don't know who's on the other end listening. I don't.
No.
But so a lady named Kathy Town, I want to give a shout out to, who reached out through my wife's mother, so my mother-in-law, that she was a loyal listener and found our show interesting. So hopefully today was interesting as well, and I want to give a shout out to her. So.
Thanks for listening, Kathy, and everybody else. It's Behind the Badge, KFIZ Today.